You are co-host though, okay. Hello. Okay, it's April 23rd, the property pipeline. We're just going through numbers. So Megan, I had 32 for you last time.
Yes, I got to 19. So I got through all my pre-foreclosures. I haven't touched probates yet.
Ah, that's good.
I got somewhere.
Yeah, we'll get into all that after too.
Yeah.
Crystal, how about you? We had 50 for you.
Hey,
Hey.
yes, I did all mine. I called all 50. I called more than 50 actually. I probably gonna call since last Wednesday, I probably called like 80 people.
Hey, good for you. That's awesome.
All right, question.
Yeah.
Okay, Megan said 19. She got through her pre-foreclosures. You got more than 50. But my question is, have you called them multiple times and have you sent texts to them also in a rhythm?
Me
Everybody.
or me? Okay, yeah. So after I call, I'll leave a voicemail
Right.
and I send an immediate text message after I call them.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Yeah.
But that's it, right? You haven't called or texted since?
Oh no. So I did it last week and I called I called everybody back this week that I didn't get an answer for and did the same thing again.
hmm So you're only calling once a week?
Well, I mean, I called last week and then I set aside a time for me to call, which is
hmm
usually during the mornings, like from 8 to 11.
Right.
And then I'm trying to do now like some evenings because I go on these express offers calls, and Terrence likes to say, kind of switch it up and maybe do some calls in the evenings because some
Exactly.
people are at work during the day. So I started calling this week after 4 o'clock, like between 4 and 6.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure you're in a cadence. That's what I'm looking for. So you
Yeah.
called today. You've called for the first time today. And then tomorrow
Well, yeah.
you send a text. And then day 3, you're going to send maybe another voicemail if you don't get a call. And then maybe something else. And then you let the system take it over. And then you go back.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good because I haven't been calling every single day. But I can do that, like call again and then the next day send a text. Okay.
Okay.
All right,
Is
TJ,
this-
we had
Go ahead.
50 down for you.
Yep. So I called 34. That's the number I have. And the only reason why is because I ran out of leads. Just
Okay.
because of the email that you and Todd were on, there was like condemned ones in the city of Scranton. But when I started going through them, they sent me kind of an erroneous batch. So I put the request in again through the city. So once I receive that, that'll give me the leads that I need. So I called all my leads that I had available.
Okay. Okay, great. And Neil, how about you? I had 20 down on you.
20 it is.
20 it is.
20 is. I don't send text. I don't feel comfortable at this time sending text because I've been listening to the, making cold calls, do not call, so on and so on. But if you have any suggestions of what to say and save heaven, I probably would do it.
As far as
Sending text. The reason I don't send text or leave a voicemail is because then it can track my number. And if I use the same number again, it's kind of like, I don't want to have it go to spam. That's probably why I haven't done it.
Okay.
I don't know that I follow that. What are you using to call?
Well, I use a phone number, but if I use that phone number, then text from the phone number, then they know I call from that. The next time I call, they'll have me as someone leaving a text. And so, do you suggest I use a different phone number, Todd?
I don't know that I understand this. No, use the same number. I use the same number for phone calls and texts.
I think what he's saying, Todd, is that if he texts from the number he's calling from, they might know or whatever that it's spam and ignore it from there or flag it somehow.
Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about. If there's an alternative, I'm more than happy to do it.
Oh, look, if they're gonna do it, you're just gonna call them. I don't care.
Okay,
If they're gonna block it, they're gonna block it. But if they block it, the phone does record your voicemail, okay? So when they go back through, all right, trust me, well, at least my phone does, and it's an iPhone. All right, I don't know about the other ones, the Galaxies or whatever the other one, Androids or whatever they call them.
Right.
But if I block somebody, all right, it shows up as potential spam. Okay, that's the first thing I do. Send a voicemail. I might listen to it. I might not listen to it. But the bottom line is that if I block them and they do leave a voicemail, when I go to clear my voicemails out, usually what happens is my phone gets a message that my voicemail is too full. And it's like, what are you talking about? Then I have to go back. And all the block calls that left messages, they're in there.
Okay, no worries. What do you suggest to send the text? How's the text? Do I say that I'm a realtor? Do I not say I'm a realtor? Because I never send texts or voicemails.
Wow.
Well, do you say that in a conversation when what do you say to somebody like when you first speak to them?
Well, I'll pay, I mean, over the phone live, I'll talk to them and
exactly.
so on. And then if I bond with them or it's a follow-up, I will say, hey, look, let me send you my information, put it in your phone. And then when I call you next time, you know, it's Neil Singerman from EXP. And that's how I've always done it. But when they're cold and I don't know them, I usually don't leave a voicemail or send a text.
Then you can certainly just say something like, hi, this is Neil. I just left you a voice message. Or if it was yesterday or whatever, I left you a voice message. And then, just a snippet about what you were calling about.
Okay.
Feel free to text me here. So you want to connect the last phone call you had with the text that you're doing then. So then that number will then make sense. But you don't have to say you're a realtor if you don't want to. But I left you a message about the property I believe you own at 123, Single Street or whatever it is.
I know where that is.
There you go.
I'm willing to try anything, just to increase my sales and so on. So
Yeah.
it's a good idea. I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah. So hopefully that should work. Oh, Shakira's here. Good. And Tanisha was just here. Now she's got people are leaving. Are they getting kicked out?
I don't know.
PJ just left. Oh, that's odd. Okay. And Tanisha was here too. Hey, Shakira.
Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
We were just doing numbers.
So, you ready for my numbers?
Sure.
I made 37 phone calls. I did commit to 45, I believe. I made 37.
You did. 45.
So I did get one answer to have a follow-up phone call.
Oh, nice.
Yay.
Good for you. Good for you. And tell us how that went.
That pre-foreclosure.
Okay. And did you get into a conversation and you got through the tough part of getting them to stay on the phone?
Yeah, so I used what Todd says to use, just be friendly and so what I did was let them know that it could be possible that they may have missed some mortgage payments on their current property. And at first they were not open to giving me information, but I kept talking to them to warm them up. And so they were like, yeah, can I, they were working. So they want more information. So I've got a scheduled phone call.
Excellent. Good. And Tanisha, I see that you were here. I hope we didn't kick you out accidentally.
Oh, no, you're fine.
All right, good. I don't think you were here last and gave me any numbers about calls. We're tracking that for you. Did you do any last week that I can put down?
No, I actually started this week, and today I did a total of 20. It did not go well. Not because of conversational pieces, but I had 3 that I left for voicemail for, 7 wrong numbers, 3 disconnected, 2 no voicemail and they didn't ring, 4 lines that were busy, and 1 that I was able to send a text because the voicemail said something like, you can't leave a message. So I just sent out a text.
The ones that were busy, did you leave a voicemail?
Just so you couldn't even leave a voicemail for any of those.
How can a call be busy now? How does that look?
A true landline.
Oh, shit, I forgot about landlines. Yeah, sorry.
I still have one. Never
I
use
haven't
it,
had
but I
one of
still
those
have
for
one.
years. That's right, I forgot that they did that. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear, guys.
Hey,
Shame
don't
on
feel
me.
bad, Lynn. I feel the same way. I would not think it'd be busy, but yeah, landline's the only way you really could do it.
Yeah, there you go, okay.
A comedian was making me laugh. He was giving a stand-up about somebody and they get a busy signal. And the kid says, well, I kept getting this beep, 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 beep. He started laughing when he was telling his dad. He goes, it's busy. He was like, well, what did I do? He said, wait a little while, call back.
Oh, man. Oh, good.
Oh, hell.
Anyway, all
I
right.
remember. Do you remember party runs?
I can't tell you that I do, but yeah, I do. That shows my age, how long ago.
And Lynn, you're showing your age.
We are. I was like 2 though. Anyway, all right, I got everybody's numbers. Todd, where do you want to go from here? Do you want to get everybody's story about how they really went, how the calls really went?
Yeah. Let's start with Megan and kind of we'll just go to right down the line and just tell me how if you had conversations, if you didn't have conversations, the voicemails that you were leaving, maybe give me an example, that type of thing, and what type of you said pre-foreclosure, I think is what you said you were calling.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, my KV core issues all finally got resolved as of Monday. So that's, you know, I was like, yay, finally. So I actually started calling yesterday, and the second call I got, actually a random older gentleman that I had a wonderful conversation with. He actually didn't own the house. I don't know how I got his name was probably associated with the property because of previous investments he's made in similar types of properties, but he actually is potentially going to be a good contact for me. But I guess what he used to do is that I'd like 2008 era, he would go around and invest in these properties, kind of the way he put it, take control of the property, get the payments up to speed, and then flip the property so it wouldn't have to go through short sale. And I was like, okay, well, that's an interesting concept. I'm glad to, you know, meet you. So anyway, he said, if I run into things like that we think we can team up on, I'm like, well, I would certainly keep you in the loop. So that was an interesting conversation.
Nice. That
right. I was like,
you say that's gold right there.
That's what I said. He said, this seems like serendipity. I was like, yeah, I think it is. So that, stay tuned. We'll see what happens with that. But the only other live person, no, I got a couple, let me say, one live person I got, she was very friendly. She said, yes, I am behind in my payments, but I'm already working it out with the bank. You know, it happens because of medical issues, blah, blah, blah. And basically like, I'm good, don't talk to me. I was like, okay. Couple others, wrong numbers. Yeah, a bunch of, you know, busy signals or whatever, you know, like this line is disconnected, no, the voicemail is full. And I went down the line and called all the numbers for that name. And I did leave a number of messages. And so I have my little script if you want to hear what my message sounds like. Okay. Hi, this is a message for Jesse Casanova. What a name, right? My name is Megan Torres with eXp Realty. I'm reaching out regarding the property at 1711 Vision Street. I believe you own this property, but I want to emphasize I am not collecting anything. I'm just wondering if you're aware of your options moving forward with the property. If you'd like to have a conversation about that, please reach out. I'd love to help you any way that I can. And that's what I said.
That's your voice message or your text or voice
That's
message?
my voice message. Yeah.
Nice. That's great.
Okay. And that's it.
All right. Okay. One question.
Yeah.
The ones that, what did you say they were, the ones that were disconnected, obviously.
Yeah.
No, nothing you could do there, but you had something where, what'd you say? In other words, my question is, because of that, did you send a text?
I have not sent any text yet, but just based on what you said a few minutes ago, that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow when I start my other calls.
Oh,
I'll go back.
voicemail.
Yeah.
Voicemail's full. That's what they do. The
Okay.
homeowners, if they want to keep their number, they'll let because collectors are calling them all the time. Okay. So they let them leave their voicemail and they let the voicemail fill up. Okay. That way, no other message that this is a common tactic. Okay. So when you get that and you see that, send a text right away.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm on it.
What about the timing, on when to send a text? I think the next day is good if you leave a voicemail.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then after that, but I agree, it's just right away if they're, I forgot about that. Of course, they can just let it sit and never
Yeah.
change.
Yeah, that's what I
That is a very common tactic. They let the voicemail fill up and then that way nobody can get through.
yeah, like la 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 la, nobody's trying to collect my money, you know, so
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
okay, got it.
Awesome. Crystal, you want to go next? Tell us the details.
Okay, so I'm almost like her. So I only talk out of all the calls I made, I really only talked to maybe 4 people. And the 4 people I did talk to were all in my area. They had old houses, but they did not want to sell. They were off market. I mean, they were absentee owners, and they didn't. They said they didn't want to sell. All the other numbers I called were either like I got some business, I got a lot of voicemails, and then I got a lot of no with the not correct numbers, and I tried to look them up on People Search. People Search gave me the exact same number.
Mm.
Okay. Well, when you get done with those, mark them and then go back and see if there's a second number on the sheet. And then update your number and call that one. As long as it's not on the DNC list.
Yeah. So I mean, no, I checked that. I checked all my. I don't run the DNC number. So I just go on People Search to try to find another number for them. True People Search is what I use.
All right, and what are you saying on your voicemails?
I just said, hello, this is Crystal Stevenson from EXP Realty. I'm calling about your home at 123 Main Street. Please give me a call back. And that's basically it.
Okay. All right. How about something like this? Hi, this is Crystal. I'm calling about a property that I think you own at 123 Main Street. I'd really like to discuss with you this property. Would you mind letting me know if in fact you do have an interest in the property so I don't keep bugging you? You can call me back or text me back at this number 123-456-789. Thank you.
Oh, that's basically what I text because I saw that in one of my on one of the sheets. I text that saying, "Can you call me back so I won't have to keep bothering you?" Right after I leave a message.
Awesome.
Okay. Shakira, tell us how it went in detail.
Well, that one phone call, but I didn't actually speak to anybody. But I've left voicemails. My voicemail doesn't mention EXP. I just said, hey, this is Shakira calling about 123 Main Street. I believe that I can assist you with this property. Can you give me a call at my phone number? Real brief and quick. Just so that they have like, what can she help me out with? And I feel like they'll call.
Okay. Now, if you were in any of these pre-foreclosures,
Yes.
okay. If you are in pre-foreclosure and you're saying, I want to talk to you about your property at 123 Main Street, you could be trying to collect. Okay. So I make it somehow your way, make it explicitly clear you're not collecting, you're not, none of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Think about it. If you get behind in your payments, are you going to answer the phone? No. If they get some vague message about your house, well, hell, they're probably trying to collect the mortgage.
Yeah. So So definitely say you're not doing that. I'm not asking for money. I just had a question about it. Just turn on a charm. And then are you sending text messages right
Yes.
after? Like
Yes.
the next day or?
No, I send a text message after I call.
You
If they
do.
don't answer.
Hey, I left you a voicemail. Call me back ASAP.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
That's a joke, okay? Go write that down.
All right, TJ, how about you?
So yeah, I mostly called expireds over the past few days. Overall, same experience as everyone else. A lot of voicemails. I did speak with someone, and it was a pretty positive conversation. They, I asked the basic questions of going through the list of, why didn't you get any offers on your home? Were the offers too low? Was it something else? And it was mostly had everything to do with the agent, just not following up consistently, and they got frustrated with him or her. So they're interested in basically like at some point, me dropping off a market analysis. I'm gonna obviously call again and follow up with them. So pretty promising there. So I will be connecting with this person very soon.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
Oh, that's
little,
good.
yeah,
That's
chipping
awesome.
away at it. So how about you and voicemails? No, text messages.
The next for this particular person, we have an open communication stream going, but for everyone else where I had to leave a voicemail, I did it the next day. And then I usually call them the day after that again, or 2 days after that from when I leave the text message.
Yeah, because that's it. Like after, I'm trying to think, Todd, in the CRM, at what point does that kick in?
Day 8.
Okay.
Day 8. So we really,
So-
we
So when
should,
you call, they're in the hold. Okay, we call that day 0. So you call, you move them into the pipeline. Then the next day, because that's day 1. Okay, when you call is day 0. Day 1, I don't know what it is. Then day 3, then day 5, then day 8. So that's day 8. The system is supposed to take over and kick in, but then you've touched them 4 times, either with a call or a text, and there needs to be a cadence. That first week, oh, this guy's or this lady's bugging the hell out of me. I better give him a call back, shut him up, that type of thing.
I think the cadence, well, let's get through this, but I want to talk about that afterwards too, because that, we really haven't touched on that yet. Anything else, TJ?
No, besides that, in terms of the voicemail, I basically am leaving it exactly the way that Todd said already. I'd like to discuss the property with you. If you don't mind, can you kindly give me a call back and to confirm that you actually, own this property and I could be reached at blah blah blah. So pretty straightforward and simple.
You are sounding like,
What's that?
you are sounding like Todd with the blah, blah, blah. You ever notice how many times he says that?
I know he's rubbing off on me.
Be careful.
I know.
Nice.
All right, that's great. Rita, welcome. We were just going over how many calls and kind of what happened. Can you share yours?
Yeah, so I reached out to a homeowner and he pretty much told me off.
Gosh.
Well, you're gonna get that. You're gonna get that.
Yeah.
Was it pre-
And
was it pre-
I try not to let it get to me, but it did, but I kept my composure and so but that was new, and I know that that's what I'm gonna get a lot. So but not letting it get to you was a little difficult.
Okay, let me ask you a question. When he told you off, at any point, did he tell you never to call again?
Yes.
Okay, that ends it right there. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So
Because
don't
I
ever
listened carefully. when they're cussing me out, this, that, and the other, I listen carefully because I'm waiting for the magic words. And when they say them, I have to be done. But if they don't say them, guess what? I'm going to wait maybe 30 days or so, and I'm going to reach out to them again.
Right, right. So that's something I have to remember, that it's not me. They don't know who I am. They don't know it's them. And if they say not to contact them again, then that's what I'm not going to do. Contact them again and keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you, how did you approach it? Give me your delivery. What did you say whenever you called?
Okay, so I sent him a message. So I left a message, but I sent him a message because we're connected on LinkedIn. And so that's when he said, this is very inappropriate and unprofessional. I would never want to work with you, especially trying to get my attention here on LinkedIn. Please don't ever call me on this issue again. Don't ever contact me again. That was it.
Well, I can't say that I disagree about the LinkedIn reach out. I really wouldn't do that.
Elaborate on that for me, please, and why you think it wasn't a good idea.
Because LinkedIn is professional stuff. I know there's people who post all kinds of crazy stuff on LinkedIn. I get it, but it's not
Right.
like Facebook. It's not like TikTok. It's not like Instagram. It's not like that. That's a professional network. You know,
Right.
if anything, if I was really trying to get a hold of somebody, I might say, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you. If you have a chance, please give me a call. That's it,
Yeah.
period.
Yeah, I didn't go over anything of the foreclosure because it was regarding foreclosure. I have what I wrote down, but I
Hey,
basically
it obviously, it wasn't a call, obviously. It must have been a message.
No, it wasn't a call. It was something brief. I wanted to reach out to you personally. Give me a call, or yeah, I left my phone number. Give me a call. Reach out, and he said he opened it up by, okay, so how are you wanting to help me, and what is this pertaining? So I said, okay, so he's open to hearing what I have to say, and then that's when I was like, oh, maybe he wasn't open to it.
Is this private?
Yeah,
Was this
absolutely private. I wouldn't put it out there for everyone. Yeah.
But what did you say when he what is this pertaining to? How did you respond to that?
So I basically said I wanted to reach out to you personally. I know you've probably been bombarded left and right with people trying to lowball you, and because he knew it said something about foreclosure, right? So I said that's when I said just get back to me, but I didn't say anything about it. I just said regarding foreclosure. So I forgot. I have the message, but it was basically, it wasn't a lot, and it wasn't salesy, it wasn't pitchy. I just wanted to know what was going on with him, and so that's when he just basically told me what he said. So I said, okay. But it wasn't anything pitchy. I didn't tell him. I just basically was more like a concern and wanted to know where he was at in the foreclosure stage. Yeah. Let me see.
I think LinkedIn is the key to that.
I still would have said, hey, I would rather have this conversation on a private conversation on my phone. If you have the time, would you reach out? I would.
Right.
I just wouldn't
Because
do
he
that.
might have been feeling like, I'm getting all these phone calls and now they're getting me through LinkedIn.
Right.
And probably that sounds to me like it was the last straw, not necessarily that you were the last straw, but he had probably had enough at that point. Like, why are they bothering?
I get it. Right. And so
What?
another,
You know what? He
Yeah.
did actually, he did have some type of a conversation with you via electronic or whatever. But you know what? I want you to get the address, and I want you to get a handwritten, a little card, and I want you to write him. I want you to write him, put it in the mail tomorrow, and say something like, I'm so sorry. I was not trying to be disrespectful to you. Blah, 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 blah. Put it in there. If there's anything I might be able to help you with, please feel free to call me at this number. Otherwise, good luck to you, and I appreciate your time. That's it.
And in that, Rita, I would not put a business card in that.
okay. Okay.
Not put a business card in that. Your phone number and your name, and just be humble. Have humility there. Like, all right, I made a mistake. What Todd said is great. Don't put a business card there.
but he
No.
straight, he told me, do not contact me again. So that's not, that's not fulfilling.
Okay, and so that's why, that's another reason you don't want to put your business card in there. But to say I'm sorry, that's perfectly okay. And then drop it. But that redeems you with saying, shit, I made a mistake, I'm sorry. And then
Right.
just drop it. That's it.
Right, right.
Because I can tell you, 99% of the people wouldn't do that.
Hey,
Right.
I have been cursed out. But again, like I said, I listen very closely for the magic thing to be said first. But I have had people who have cussed me out, and guess what? We get a deal 3 or 5 months later.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
So
And so one more thing is that he said, you know what, I already got this handled. But the thing is that when I looked into it, I already had done my homework, so I knew that it was still open, that it's heading to auction. It wasn't canceled. There was no rescission on the foreclosure. So by him telling me that, I was like, well, I wanted to ask, well, are you sure? Because it's still looks like, and I did my homework, that you're headed to foreclosure, but I left it alone. I left it alone.
no,
That was
don't
the
say
right
that.
thing. Don't say that. That was the right thing to leave it alone. The guy is
yeah.
stressed. I mean, if
Okay.
you were in that situation, how would you feel?
Right.
Now
And
somebody's telling me I'm lying to them. No, don't ever go there.
yeah, I wanted to, but I'm like, don't do it. Why? It doesn't.
It's not about being right at that point. Just
Yeah.
take the kindness and move on.
Yeah. I just read it, took it, and I said, okay, and I left it alone. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will do the handwritten note.
Yeah.
Well,
With
and
the business card.
also, keep in mind that people lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's trying to save his,
Okay.
yeah, that's a pride thing too. I got it handled. Leave me alone. And he
Right. Yeah.
probably
Yeah, I
doesn't,
get it.
but
I think
Yep.
what really got to me even more so is because he's a kid's pastor, and then when he came at me so
Oh.
strong, I was like, wow, that's what really, really like threw me off. I said, oh, okay, because I expected something so much different. But that's what I get for saying.
he's got a bunch of little kids adoring him and just
Yeah.
looking up to him like, yeah, that's a lot of stress.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Wow. Well, thanks for sharing that. All right, who we got? Angela. We were just going over, I know you came in a little bit afterwards, but we were just going over calls and numbers and that kind of stuff. How did you do this last week?
I had a lot of calls. That's why I came in late as well. My phone is still going.
I had 100 down for you, Angela.
Yes, I know. I don't have my number. I'll get you the number tomorrow when I finish. I will
Okay, that's
count how
okay.
many we have. But I had one call me back. He has a house to sell and want to look for more. So he's buying up. So yeah.
Oh, good.
Nice.
So
Nice.
so tell us about that conversation. So how did you leave it? What did you say and how did you leave it?
Well, I can't even remember because I was doing so many calls. I'm like, oh God. But I know with that conversation, I end up laughing in between it because I found it funny because I misunderstood what he said. Because he gave me the house that he wants to sell, and then I heard something else, like he has another one under contract, but the phone broke up. So I thought he said he did not own the house. So I said, did you say he didn't own the house? And he was like, how could I want to sell a house that I don't own? I was like, I am so sorry. And I started laughing because because of what I heard. And I was just cracking up. And then he said, okay, just look for the houses that I want. Just give me his criteria at what he's looking for. And he said, have a nice day. And I was like, okay, you have a nice day as well. But I could not help but laugh because I was like, holy crap. Because I was like, what is happening here? But that was a good one, though.
So did you follow up with the text or what's next there?
Okay, so with him, I did not follow up with him in any text, but everybody that I call, that's what I do. I follow up with text right after. So my next step is another text. Of course. If they don't reach back to me by tomorrow, I will do more texts again.
Well, we were also, I don't know if you were on, but on day 8 is when everything kicks in on KV Core. So
Yeah, I
we'll
heard you
talk
But I
about
think-
that in a little bit too, but
Yeah, I heard you said that.
Yeah.
Angela, do you use your own dialer though?
I just use my phone. I don't use the dial-up. I use my
All right,
phone
good.
direct.
I like that. I think that's better.
Yeah, but the
Okay.
only thing with my phone, I have my website on there, so I have to change it because people tend to think it's a business calling
Oh,
telemarketing.
yeah.
Yeah, so I have to change that later.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
realize that, so I have to change that later.
yeah, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes- Okay, great, thank you.
You're
Neil,
welcome.
how about you wanted, oh, I'm sorry, did you have something else to say, Angela?
Oh no, I said you're welcome.
Oh. Neil, how about you? Any more details? I know you told us a lot.
No, not really, not too much detail, should we say. I did have a nice conversation with the probate, but he's not ready yet. We bonded pretty close, very quickly in the conversation.
Oh, good.
I always change up in the beginning. I'll say, I don't know you, but I want to extend my condolences. You probably knew this guy was named Robert, the one who passed away, and it really touched with him. He was a nurse, and I mentioned to my dad before he passed away was a pharmacist, so the connection was there, but he's just not ready. But he asked me to give him a call back in a couple months.
Perfect.
Yeah, this kind of
That's a win.
conversation is important.
Yep.
That's
That's a win.
definitely a win. Very nice.
Yeah, I like when they volunteer information that I
Yeah.
don't have to ask. Or they say,
Yeah.
the best thing you can have is someone cold calling is to have them say, I gotta go now, but can you call me back? And always break it down. If they say 2 weeks, you call them in a week. You always do it half because for some reason or another, 2 weeks. Wait a second, they're already on the market with somebody else. So we don't want that to happen. But yeah, the good wins just come from contribution, your tonality and everything else. And just like I'm talking to you, like I know you. And that's how you should talk to everybody over the phone instead of and if you have somebody who's not happy with you, you just say, okay, I'll find somebody else.
Exactly. Awesome. Thank you. And T, you're next. Any details about your calls and whatnot?
So
I had 20 down for you.
yeah, so that's pretty much what it was. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Today, like I said, was my first day. I don't have any KV Core things because I've tried and reached out and yeah, it's just have not been. So I don't have a follow-up system. So that's the part that kind of sucks because I don't have a way of being able to put them, meaning those that I've called from one to the next. So that's kind of frustrating, to say the least. But as far as anything else, I guess those were a lot of landlines. Like I said, I had a lot of busies, wrong numbers. One I was able to, or maybe a few, I have my sheet right here. Where I was just able to kind of leave a voicemail. So I left 3 voicemails. Like I said, 7 wrong numbers, 3 disconnected. It did not ring at all. 4 lines that were busy, and I was able to send 1 text because the phone said, this phone is not receiving like voicemail. So I just like, okay, let me shoot out a text message and see what happens. So it didn't pop back or what have you. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now.
Okay. All right, great. All right, what's going on with KV Core? We got to
So-
fix that.
Yeah, for some reason or another, I couldn't even load the any of my contacts to even get started in the hold spot, and then moving them forward, like it just has not been working for me. So I don't know if somebody else has time to be able to show me where I'm going wrong with that. But yeah, I couldn't even get them to load into the holding spot for KV Core. And I even reached out to the tech support people, and what they told me, it did not work. So I just kind of was like, whatever, because if I keep waiting around, I'll never
that
do it.
for you though. They will do that for you. So if you send them the information, and I think it's in CSV, and say, I want these people, and they'll do it. They say they'll do it in 24 hours. It might take longer than that, but they'll do it for you. But
And so to your point, I have them uploaded in KV Core. It's just not loaded in that holding cell that Todd talked about when we first were getting started. So then after I've called them, because I also should have multiple numbers in there. I guess for me, and I'm new to really using the CRM thing. So you guys are really making me work a little harder because I'm
hard, yeah.
so my CRM has been in my head forever, but you can't hold all this information. And I'm realizing that, and I'm getting older, so whatever with that part. But I just don't know how to swing them from that point. And I went to even look and see if they were in the holding KV Core, and not one lead that I had uploaded multiple times was there. So I don't know about that part. So
All right, yeah, we got to get that. We got to get that.
I do leave a note. So, you know, KV Core, you can leave a note. So I just mark it as, you know, left a message or line was busy, and I just noted as such. But that's as far as I got with those.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Did I forget anybody?
Carolyn,
Yeah.
when will we have our next set of leads?
That'll be coming this week. Matter of fact, let me do this
Todd's
right
on
now.
vacation in Florida now, right now. I don't know if you know that. He's calling us from Florida. He's on vacation, so he might be a couple days behind.
Oh, okay. I know last time I texted, he said Monday or Tuesday.
You're cutting in and out, Crystal. I can only hear. It's kind of choppy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear
Yeah,
me
no,
now?
it's chopping. You're cutting in and out. Okay. Anyway, I think we got everybody.
Okay.
Todd, maybe we should talk about cadence for a little bit.
Hang on, I'm trying to get this out.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
How do you, I did not load anything to KV Core. Is there a way of doing it? Because I'm just curious to see how it works. How would I load the leads in there and so on?
Did you take all the tokens? Do you have all the slots filled out for it?
I don't recall that.
So we, a while ago, Todd gave everybody the tokens for 4 different KV Core lines, if you will. I forgot what you call them, but it's the different sections of whether if it's a whole in a hold pattern or whatever. And so those then went into your KV Core, and then you're adding people into whatever section it is.
Yeah, I do. Okay, I do recall it. They did have some issue with it. I think they resolved it, but if I could see what it looks like, then I had an idea where to load them in. I guess they go to a different group. Is that what the tokens mean? They go to a different area, like if there's someone I talk to or someone I'm going to follow up.
Todd, can you explain that to him?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to multitask and I'm not doing a good job. What was the question again here
Get
about
off the
I heard
beach. Yeah.
I'm not on the beach.
No, Neil was just saying he wasn't sure how it worked with the different tokens and how, but you can get them, Neil, easily. But he was asking what the different sections were.
Oh, it's this hold active, wrong number. Guys, I don't use KV Core. Okay. I use another system that I can do a lot of other stuff with, but it's expensive. Okay. But in other words, these tokens, I have campaigns, or I call them pipelines, pipes. I just call them pipes. Okay. I've got 5 of them, I think. In other words, what I always do, even in the CRM that I use, I load everybody in to the hold category. Okay. And then I've got other pipelines built out. Okay. Other pipes. I've got a active, I called them, left a message. I move them into that pipeline because I left a message. And then if it's a wrong number, I have a wrong number pipeline. If it's I have a conversation with them, and what is that? Call later or follow up later or something like that. If I have a conversation and they have some interest or whatever, I'll just say, hey, I'd like to touch base with you in 3 or 4 weeks. Is that cool? Yeah, yeah, sure. So I'll put them in an active follow-up pipeline for every 3 to 4 or 5 weeks, and then they'd get touched for like a year. In other words, I've got different ones for that. And if it's a wrong number, or if I talk to them and they say, don't call me anymore, well, guess what? All right, they were not on the DNC list, but they did tell me not to call them anymore. So I put them on my version of the DNC list. Okay, I have a special DNC because they told me don't call. So, and that's where I just moved them around to whatever pipeline is appropriate after I make that call. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you very much. That's very helpful.
Sure.
And Neil, you just got to get those pipelines or those campaigns in there, and there is a token that you send to or upload.
Yeah.
Or they'll do it for you at KV Core. So you get those and then you move them around as you need to. It'll make sense as soon as you see it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your help.
Welcome. Okay, Todd, are you back?
I'm here.
Okay, you want to talk a little bit about cadence? It sounds like that's something we should probably go over.
Hang on. I want to send these. Oh, Lord. All right, Neil, I think I have you in my database.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, in Singerman at hproyalty.com. Okay, there you go. They're coming.
Thank you.
All right, and you have to scroll down a little bit because this has been sent to a couple of people already. So just scroll down, it'll say KV Core tokens, and that's a token that you will put into your KV Core to build up the pipe.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. All right, and you want to talk about cadence?
Well, yeah, like everybody's just, getting started, and we've got on the 8th day. So what do you suggest that they do after the first call? And so we were getting through the first call and the first text message.
All right. So in the first 4, well, you're in the hold. Okay. So you grab that lead and then you make the call. Okay. That's the system is geared to. This is day 0. So when I load it and make the call, or it's already loaded, you make the call. All right. You can leave your voicemail. They don't answer. You leave your voicemail. Then you move it into the active pipeline. So then it's built out that day 1 is tomorrow. Okay. So if you don't get to these calls until, get to a bunch of today and a bunch tomorrow and then a bunch the next day, when you make the call and move it into the pipeline, okay, it's the trigger mechanism is when you call and move it. So today it goes, tomorrow is going to give you a task. So I built KV Core to give you a task, day 1, day 3, day 5. All right. The task is either going to be a voice or a call again, or it's a text. Okay. That's the way I built it. And then day 8, the system takes over and sends texts, emails, etc. But somewhere in those pipelines, you're going to get another task somewhere down the line, and it's going to tell you to make another phone call. Okay. So it'll do its thing for a while, send out the text, send out the email, do this, that, and the other. And at some point, maybe 60, 90 days from now, it's going to give you a task to call that person actually physically. Okay. To call them again. All right. And then it still continues on. Okay. Until something happens. Okay. You get a response, you get an FU, you get whatever you get, it stops. Okay. Especially if they respond through the system. So then once it stops, you're going to get a notice. Okay. Whatever that notice is. They called, left you a voicemail, whether they texted you back, whatever, the system stops. Then you have to get the notice and do something with it, whatever it is. Okay, call them, text them, whatever, and see what they say. And then you decide what you're going to do with it after that. It's just like any trigger mechanism.
Now,
Any
Is
CRM.
anybody, is this working for you all? Are you getting these tasks from KV Core? Yeah.
Yeah, if you call 20 people today, tomorrow you're going to get 20 tasks. Okay. And then day three, actually day four, technically from when you called, you're going to get another bunch of tasks. So if you call today, call 20, then it's in the system, you move into active, boom, 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 then they move on. Then today or tomorrow, you call 20 more, then they move into the system. And so you're going to have tasks popping it up all over the place for the first week of those. Okay. You see what I mean?
Okay, just wanted to make sure everybody's got that.
So day 0, day 1, day 3, and day 5. Then the system takes over and then it does its thing from there. Now, if you can afford it and you have, it's not super expensive, but if you can afford it in some of these pipelines, I would pay for the RVM, RVM, what does it stand for? Ringless voicemail. I don't know if it's like $50 for like 1,000 ringless voicemails or something like that. The last time I looked, I would pay for that because I want to drop a voicemail. And you have to
When those are
that.
coming too, you see that.
Say
No, you know when those are coming in, it'll say ringless voicemail. But that's fine though. It just, yeah, at least you're getting it through. T, did you have a question?
I do. Because I just want to ask, because that's where my disconnect is at. It's the whole moving them from something, and maybe I can't move anybody from anything because I don't have anything even in the starting point. But is there anyone who's actually using their KV Core that I can sit down and you just share your screen for 5 minutes so I can see how you're moving your contacts? Because again, it's going to be more challenging for me because I'm also a visual person, but it's going to be challenging for me because my leads are not even in that first whole pipeline. So getting them to move.
where are they?
They're just on my KV Core. So that's the point that I'm speaking to. So moving them somewhere doesn't make sense to me because they're just in the pipe. I mean, you get what I'm saying? So I hope I'm making that as clear as I possibly can. So that's where I'm stuck at because I'm gonna miss all of these tasks.
How did you load them?
I actually so after I scrubbed them, I went into and I had KV Core, they uploaded them. But at the time, my tokens were not officially working. So I could not have them put them under a token or a campaign, I should say, because they were not working correctly. So I just had them loaded in there. So when I went to the KV Core tech support person, they said because I did not load them in there with that campaign, I would not be able to successfully put them into that pipeline. So that first hold all leads pipeline, I could not do it. So I tried to do it manually. And if I go into showing a contact, it shows on the side, but I don't know. That's the part that the disconnect is missing for me. So
I don't know that you can move them now. Does anybody know?
I don't know.
I can chime in there. I had an issue initially with it, and I had KV Core take care of it. It took a little while, but they did fix it. And I just looked in my KV Core unit; they're all set up, but it takes a little while for them to get it. They had a problem with the token, but they weren't. Once you send me, we're separated. I think it was just one, and that's where I had trouble. Anyways, it's all done. But thank you. I just want to share that with you.
God, what if the next batch of leads comes in, can she start?
If it's already set up now and it's actually set up properly, then yes, the next batch you can load directly in. Okay. So in other words, I don't know KV Core very well, obviously. I mean, I use it a little bit, but it's just cursory things. But if you open up your hold pipeline, if you open up that pipeline, then you can do a bulk add to that pipeline. Okay? Does that make sense?
And to your point, I did that 3 times. They even sent me over the step-by-step guide. I followed it to the T, and like I said, I could take a picture of it and send it to you. But if I was to click on one contact, it will show on the side of the contact that it's in that first one. But as far as moving them, if I went in that pipeline to look at all of them, they're not gonna be there. So yeah, I
Well, not
just
those. Those right now, I don't think you can do anything else with. All right. But I'm talking about the new leads that come in. All right. They'll be in a format. You'll skip them. And then there's a KV Core template. You'll copy and paste them into that. Once you do that, then you go into your campaigns. You go to your hold campaign and you will open it up. Okay. And then somewhere in there, there will be a spot for a bulk upload. And you will bulk upload that CSV into KV Core and the hold category. But you don't just go into KV Core and upload them and tag them. You actually go into the whole category or the whole campaign, open it up, and then bulk upload. That's the way it should work.
okay.
Okay. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. So
Now, on these right here, because the pipelines weren't, I guess, working properly or not set up or whatever the case might be, I don't know what you can do there. Now, the system I use, I can move them into the whole category from anything. If I screwed up and uploaded them incorrectly, I can just move, I have to move them one by one in that case, but I can still move them into that pipeline if I want. Now, KV Core, I would imagine there's a way to do it. I just don't know how.
okay.
Okay, we're right at an hour now. What do you want to do with the last half hour?
I think we need to do some smiling and dialing.
Alrighty.
Because that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to do this type of stuff in the first. I want to keep it to like a half an hour on this, maybe 40 minutes, and then I want us to do some smiling and dialing for the rest of the time because I want people to hear. If you get somebody on the line, I want people to be able to hear you. You just unmute, let them hear you talk.
All right, how do you want to do that? Do you want to do that everybody just mutes and makes calls, and if somebody is able to talk to somebody, they unmute?
Yep.
All right, and then if you have any questions, just unmute, we can talk about it too.
Yeah.
Everybody have some people that they can reach out to? All right, let's do it.
You got a few people. Come on. You can do this. All right, I'm going to mute.
Yeah, me
The
too.
video died. I'm trying to get this video going up. Then I may have to restart the whole thing. It was working just fine a little while ago.
All right, well, go ahead and try that while everybody else is doing their thing.
Yeah.
Are we still waiting?
Waiting on what?
On was it Todd that was Todd going to say who's calling? I wanted to know who's calling right now.
No, you guys are each calling.
Cool.
Well, somebody on your list. Are they all done? Everybody's calling people on their own list, and then if they have somebody to unmute.
Well, I just got a live one and I didn't unmute in time.
Okay, tell us about it.
Well, she just said I was calling for a James Iverson, and a woman answered, and I asked for him, and she said, "Why are you calling?" And I said, "Well, I'm a realtor, and I got this number through the records." And she said, "Well, we're not selling our house for any price." And I said, "Okay, thank you so much for your time." She said, "Don't call back." Okay, so short and sweet, not too ugly, but
Was it a
like
pre-foreclosure?
it was a probate. So in other words, it sounded like other people had already contacted her, and she was like, "Get out of
Yeah.
here."
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, good. At least there was a conversation, right?
And you get better as you go along.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you had those busy numbers, call those guys and gals back.
Alrighty, so I had someone, but before I could even flip back to the screen, they had already said, it's not for sale by and hung up, so. Okay, but no, it wasn't a don't call back, so I'm just gonna make a note and
There
keep
you
going.
go.
There you
Wait for the
go.
magic ones.
Nice. Well, we're gonna stop in a minute, so everybody finish up what they're doing, and then we'll just do some goals and call it a night.
Hey, Jay, you so close.
Let us know when you're done, just unmute.
I'm done.
Great.
Just got done. Good.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right.
Done.
Done. Check.
I'm done.
Done.
I didn't hear. I don't know who the last two were. I think everybody's done.
Me? I'm done. Angela.
It
All
seems
right,
like 80, it seems like 80% of the people that I call, even if they have multiple numbers, the phones are disconnected.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do goals for next week. Who wants to go first? Throw them out there.
So I'm going to this Crystal. I'm gonna do another. I'm gonna just say I'm gonna do another.
You're gonna say 70, is that what you said?
Yeah, I'll say 70.
Okay. Okay, who else?
This is Shakira. I'm gonna say 50, and I'm gonna do my 50, all 50.
Okay, then. Perfect. All right, who else?
This is Megan. I'm going to finish up my probates. I think I only have like 15 left until we get new ones. So when we get new ones, my numbers will be higher.
Okay.
Right, right.
I'm gonna stick with 35, Lynn. That was a good amount for me this week.
Okay, good. All right.
20
Yeah.
for me, Lynn. For Neil.
35, 20 for Neil. That's your number, isn't it?
Well, the pickup rate lately in Los Angeles has been very low. It's calling until I get people live,
Mm,
so on. So that's why I'm keeping it there. I want to break through it next week. That's my
yeah.
goal.
Yeah,
But
no.
it's been frustrating because I make hundreds of calls and then I say, oh, I only talked to 2 people and the wrong numbers. So that's okay. I'm always positive. I know there's a sale coming for me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, who don't we have?
Angela, the same.
You're at 100 again. Okay.
I'm gonna go
This
for
Tanisha.
I'm sorry, who said what?
This Tanisha, I'll do 30.
30, okay. 30. Okay. Rita, did you give me a number?
50.
Okay.
5.
Is that everybody? I gotta redo my list. 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
He's trying to say he was gonna send out the new link.
Okay, so I can't hear you. Maybe you put it in a chat. Can
I said,
anybody,
when did I say he was gonna send out the new lead?
didn't we talk about this earlier? No? I think we did.
Mm.
Todd? Later on this week,
Yep,
tomorrow?
that'll be out this week.
Yeah, okay. We might not have been on, we did talk about that, Crystal. Okay, and I said he's on vacation, so. Next week, I don't know if you saw in the chat too, we're not going next Thursday. I know this is Wednesday night, so those of you that come in, we will be doing next Wednesday night, but not next Thursday. Both Todd and I won't be, unless somebody else wants to host. Anybody raising their hand? Okay, great. Well, you got 5 minutes to go. Is there anything anybody else want to go over?
I wanted to ask a question.
Sure.
I was wondering if anyone else that's on Zoom right now with us, if they wanted to role play other than Wednesdays and Thursdays, like workplace, or create a group for us where we could do the role play besides just once or twice a week. I don't know if anyone else is interested.
We can throw that out there too, and just to everybody, what is it, something you want to put together, Rita? Because we can certainly do that.
Yeah, do that.
Do you want to post that in the chat, in the property pipeline chat, and not just here, but everybody else kind of do
I
that?
did send an email to everyone, but I never got a response. So maybe that's my answer.
Oh,
If I could
Yeah.
chime in, I don't know if, well, I'm sure everybody should be familiar with Express Offers. They do,
Yeah.
every Wednesday, Terrence does a practice at 4 o'clock you all's time. That's on the Eastern time and what have you. So if you have time, check it out. Definitely really helpful. And he's looking for more people to join.
Oh,
What days?
perfect.
It's on Wednesdays, so it's actually
Okay.
before we come here.
At 4 p.m. Eastern time?
Yep.
There are other groups as well in the mornings and the afternoon. We have a lot of role play groups in EXP. They're even on Clubhouse during the day, every day.
Specifically for short sales or foreclosure or distressed properties?
They do everything.
Yep.
So my answer is a no, nobody wants to do it. Okay. Thanks for the info.
Great. Well, there we have it. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Lynn and Todd, can you stay back for a sec? Oh,
Yeah.
Lynn, can you please send me the routine inspection for the new one for 132 Oliver from the broker's email?
Did you not get it?
No, I have Woody. I don't have Oliver.
Yeah, okay.
You have it, Todd, or you want me to find it?
I don't know where it's at. But the Oliver, I don't know if we got it yet.
Yeah, it's on. I got a task for it, but I don't have. You know, the email comes separate
Yeah.
form.
Hey, we were listing agreement from Gulfport. We don't even have that one. We've been emailing Dawn, Michael, everybody, and nobody wants to send it because it was supposed to come. Now, don't get me wrong. We got it listed. All the tasks are done, except for the listing agreement needs to be signed and turned in. Okay. So Michael's running a little behind.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I've got Woody, but I don't have 132.
Just print that out, and white out everything, and print it in and turn it in.
Oh, I can from the old 132.
Yeah. Just change the date on it, white it out, change the date, put everything in.
Okay.
Cause I don't see it.
Okay. And then one more thing for. What was I gonna say? Oh, for this bid, how can I follow up with this without like having to reach out to the agent about it? How can I see what's going on with the transaction?
This is Oliver. Okay, this came, what is today? April 21st. What's today? Today's 23rd, isn't it?
Yes.
23rd.
I did not get anything today on it. I think it's executed.
But how
Wait
can
a
I?
minute, wait a minute, maybe not. No,
What are
21st?
you looking at, Ty? How can I follow it, like, to know what's going on?
In the EXP, HUD EXP, whatever that one is. They're in there. They're all in there. I just searched real quick for Oliver, and April 21st was the last time I got anything on it.
You're in where?
Gmail, the HUD Gmail.
Oh, yeah, I saw those, but
So we don't have it. So in other words, we got something on the 21st
right.
about the contract, and it said the broker had signed, and we didn't receive anything else about it. So my best guess is by today's, at some point, it was probably fully executed, would be my guess. Unless we get something in the morning. So we'll see.
Okay. And I should receive a task. Once it's executed, I will receive a task to
Deliver earnest money. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And how, because I don't see, like, how do I see, like, I know they're using Luder Larkin and Hunter, but how do I see, like, the actual, can I see anything on the contract or not, or no, not yet?
You should get, once the contract's executed, you should get a copy of it.
Okay, good. Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah, you should have a fully executed contract with the cover page, the whole 9 yards, you know.
Okay. All right.
You okay?
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
No, I tell you what though, they are moving really slow on a lot of stuff. I mean, they need more help.
Meanwhile, you got 24 hours to do XYZ.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Right. We're sending you a bunch of emails back to back.
Well,
But
they just rejected Carl for a task he turned in on Friday.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I mean, he fixed it real quick, but he turned it on Friday. Today's Wednesday.
Oh.
really?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Well, my tasks are in except this routine inspection. I'm gonna just use the old one and redo it.
Yeah, just white it out. Turn it in.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys.
All right. Have a good night.
Lynn, you ready to go to bed? Lynn's ready to go to bed, Ty. She's like, oh, that's enough work for today.
7. I'm tired.
Good night, y'all. Enjoy
Night.
yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care.